Absolutely not. This would be a huge mistake, as the rumors of LeBron James possibly leaving Los Angeles continue to heat up. It remains a question if he could eventually find himself wearing the Rockets red in the waning of his career. We give you all the details of what is happening with LeBron in LA, as well as why this would be a huge mistake for the Rockets front office to make. All of that right here on this video of Rockets Digest. I'm your host, Donovan Ricondo. Let's get straight into it today. LeBron James is what we're talking about. The hottest topic in the NBA right now about whether or not he is going to play for the Lakers next season. He has already exercised his $52.6 million option to play for the Lakers this season, playing in his 23rd season of his NBA career. But it is still unclear if he will play for the Lakers. Now, all signs right now, according to Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst of ESPN, say that the Lakers are going to move on from LeBron James by the spring of 2026, which is crazy news, quite frankly. LeBron James being who he is, being LeBron James, effectively has an end date with his current team. And so there's been a lot of discussions of whether or not the Lakers should go ahead and just trade LeBron to get something out of that. Of course, there's a lot of different things to consider, whether or not LeBron wants to finish his career as a Laker, whether he wants that a grand closing of his illustrious career, or if he thinks the Lakers have a legitimate shot of winning an NBA championship next season, which in my opinion, they don't. But nevertheless, Ramona Shelburne and Brian Windhorst gave some more details about why they think that is, saying, quote, "The Lakers had already made their statement and not offering James a contract beyond this season. It was abundantly clear that the 21-time All-Star's time as the face of the Lakers had, for the first time, a planned end date, even if James's record-setting NBA career did not yet. Whether the 2025-26 season is to be James's final season in the NBA is up to him. But if he wanted the kind of Hollywood ending that only the Lakers can give legends of the game, the release date was set spring 2026. Luka Doncic in, LeBron James out." And again, this is insane to hear of a team moving on from the NBA superstar. Of course, he is old. He's getting up there in age. He's, I believe, 40, 41 right now. And so he's kind of made it public. He's not going to play much longer. There was a viral video that went out a couple weeks ago of him at some restaurant and some fan, was shooting a video of him saying, "Oh, Savannah wants me out of the NBA in about a year or so." So we know he is not going to play for long. Now, the update, though, that has a lot of people talking about this today is this one right here. This comes from John Gambadoro, who is a sports radio host in Arizona, was on ESPN Cleveland earlier today, who said this: "The Lakers want to move on from LeBron James ASAP." All caps ASAP, that is as soon as possible, which could mean a variety of things. As soon as possible, when do you define possible? Well, if you ask Brian Windhorst and Ramona Shelburne, that is spring 2026. However, LeBron has a lot of say in this. He, according to Brian Windhorst, has the ball in his court pretty much. As Brian Windhorst said, quote, "If he would like to be traded, he can communicate that. He hasn't done that. The ball is in LeBron's court." So there is that, right? I don't think personally that the Lakers would trade LeBron or do anything with his contract, whatever, unless they had LeBron's permission. I feel like that's the relationship he has over there. LeBron has a bunch of pull in LA, as he has with every team he's ever been on, Cleveland, Heat, and now the Lakers. And so he has that ability, right? So I don't expect a trade for the Lakers to make unless LeBron himself is saying, "Okay, I want to have a actual realistic chance of winning a championship. I'm looking at the Lakers roster right now. I don't think DeAndre Ayton's going to do much to put this team over that edge. As great as talented as a player as he is, former #1 overall pick, had a finals run back in 2021. But looking at their roster, they're compared to the Rockets, compared to the Oklahoma City Thunder, compared to teams like the New York Knicks, they don't quite have it quite yet. A lot of analysts are saying that. I am saying that, right? They do not have that roster in place as of yet. I think next year they might have a better chance, but right now they are not in that situation, quite frankly. And so, going on to what Bobby Marks has said, what he's made clear about this entire situation. The greatest player of all time, LeBron James, right? Taking on a $52.6 million contract is not something many franchises can do without giving up key players of their own. Now, this is in the event of a trade, right? The contracts, there has to be a certain amount of money going in and a certain amount of money going out. And bringing this all the way back to the Rockets, right? If they were to trade for him now, would be a huge, huge, huge mistake for a plethora of reasons. One of which is LeBron is old. He is an older guy. Now, I'm not saying he's not very talented. I'm not saying he's washed or any means. These numbers I'm about to show you are insane for anybody who is 4-year-olds. 24 points per game, 7 rebounds, 8 assists per game, shooting 51% from the field. He has better numbers than our lead scorer last year, which is insane when you compare a 40-year-old man to what Jalen Green, who is a 23-year-old young guy in the NBA who has all the potential in the world. Like, he is having numbers that are unheard of in NBA history. All credit to him in that aspect. However, trading what we have now, I would envision a trade would consist of picks, consist of guys like Reed Shepard, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason. I would feel you would have to give up at least Alperen Şengün in there as well. A trade like that just would not benefit this team at all. It would. There's so little upside and so much downside to even talk about that trade, to even give it interest. Yes, it would be great in a world to have LeBron James on your team, to have to pair him up with Kevin Durant, with a head coach like Ime Udoka, who, LeBron James hasn't. I'm not going to say he hasn't played with great head coaches, but at the same time, he's played for so many that it's kind of like, Eric Spoelstra is probably his best coach. But regardless, yes, in a world that would be absolutely fantastic, but for what it is worth, right, to trade for a guy like that, I do not think is worth it at all. Literally not at all. You're giving up so much of your potential guys you have invested in, like a Jabari Smith, like your Alperen Şengün type players, Amen Thompson. It just wouldn't make sense to make that trade. Now, there is the question of, like, okay, what about in the spring of 2026? What if he is a free agent and he's like, hey, I'm going to play one more year. I want to play on a team that I think is good enough to win a championship. Why not go to the Rockets then? Well, the question is still your salary cap. I'm going to take you to what that looks like for the Houston Rockets. This is what we have so far. Cap space you see is in the minus there. First apron space, we're getting awfully close to it, as well as the second apron space, which is also obviously very, very close as well. LeBron James made $52 million last year. That, you do the math there. Like, that is not going to add up. That's going to put us way past the second apron. Would he possibly take a pay cut in order to win a championship? I'm sure he would. But at the same time, I don't think it'll be a number that, doesn't, match what the front office is looking for. It's not going to be a number that is going to be very pretty to get for 1 year of LeBron. When you already have a team that is pretty much set, the team I'm looking at right now with our roster, VanVleet, Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün, Dorian Finney-Smith, all those guys, I'm looking at it, and I already see a championship contender. I already see all of these pieces that have been put into place. Are the weaknesses there? Yes, of course. You can talk about the point guard situation. Reed Shepard's going to have to do good. But at the same time, right, to trade away or to acquire a player that doesn't make sense in terms of the assets you would have to give up, or in terms of the money you are going to have to pay someone like LeBron James, it just does not work on paper and is not something that this front office needs to do. So I am urging, stay the heck away from this scenario. Let it play out. Let him finish his career in LA, or if he goes to another team, whatever team that may be for his last season, which would be 2026, 2027, if he decides to stay that long. Let him go somewhere else. Let him do. I'm sure 20 years from now, it'll be one of those pictures you see on Instagram that are like, can you believe that they played in these jerseys? It'll be something like that if he decides to do another year. Unless, of course, he decides to just say, you know what? After this year, I'm going to retire a Laker. I'm going to get the big Hollywood send-off. Absolutely. I'm close to my family. They can all attend. Voila. All of it's done. Do that as well. But I am just urging the Rockets to stay away from this possible trade scenario, from this possible free agent scenario in a year from now. Absolutely stay away. Again, not saying LeBron is washed, not saying he's not talented. He's either the greatest player of all time or the second greatest player of all time. I feel like there's no disputing that. Very talented, of course, as the longevity has been absolutely amazing. But I'm just saying, do not even engage. We have the team. We are confident in the team. We have KD now. We are good. We are okay. But for those of you that want to let me know, hey, Donovan, you are wrong. Let me know in the comments. What do you think about the situation? Yay, LeBron, trade for him. Get him any means possible. Or no, stay away. Do not engage. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts about this very interesting situation. I really cannot see a previous example of this happening in NBA history with a player as old as LeBron James, as talented as he is, and for a team to be like, hey, we are going to move on spring of 2026. Never seen this before, so let me know in the comments. This is a very rare story in the NBA. You never probably will see a story like this, at least for a very long time. So let me know in the comment section. This has been another episode of Rockets Digest. I appreciate all of you joining, and if you've made it to the end of the video, that tells me you are a Rockets fan. Go ahead, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on all of your Rockets content all off season, as well as leading into the regular season is going to be a fun one. We've got you covered right here on Rockets Digest. So for that, I am Donovan Ricondo. So long.